like to introduce the first batch of family members. Sulakshana Reddy, please come. She is the founder of ShuShu Babies Natural. It's a kids skincare and wellness brand from Hyderabad. She's a mompreneur. Thank you. Next we have Dhana Supriya. She is an expert in relationship coaching, and she helps with the relationship problems and help you find a better solution to them. Thank you. Next we have Pooja Singireddy. She is a co-founder of ANTERA Kitchen and Bar, and she's also co-founder of RA, a Multidesigner store. Next we have Pallavi Rupanagudi. She is a legal consultant and POSH trainer. Thank you. And next I would introduce to Padmaja Penmetsa. She is the founder of Panel Moderator, Joypreneur, and she is the moderator for the today's event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prashant, for putting this together. So, thank you. So that's what I was just saying, entrepreneur kashtal. Whatever that we plan and however we go, I think the essence, the very essence of entrepreneurship is just be ready for some uncertainties. Just be, whatever prepared you are and however prepared you are, I think that's one thing that we need to watch out for. And again, Prashant, thank you so much for putting this together. When he came in asking me, we will do something like this, I felt, this is one thing, because as women, there is so much that we all go through, so much that we are all put through as a grind. The reason why I'm saying this is, while I was growing up, I was one of those where I felt, why should women be given more importance? It's all the equal world, it's all, everything is the same. I don't need extra chances or anything as such. Everything has to be common for everybody. But believe me, after I became a mom, that's when I realized, forget about equality, we're definitely more. And what all, so that's where all of these things came. And I'm sure we're all somewhere sailing in the same boat, or at least about to start sailing in the same boat, because we have a lot of people who want to get into entrepreneurship. And thank you so much for taking your time coming in here. So this is a panel where we're going to discuss what entrepreneurship is all about. And through this journey, I'm sure even the panel members and all my other guests will also agree with this. We would have all had started with a certain thing in mind. But as we go along, there are so many pluses, minuses, there's so many calibrations that we do. Sometimes maybe we might have to hide a few harsh truths and, show the rosy picture outside. But how we do things is something which needs to keep the boat afloat at the end of the day. That's what we all do, right? So I thought, why not actually capture the essence and bring it out as it is? And welcome to Align. Align is set up as the first ever emotional wellness space, because I wanted this space where people can come, spend time for themselves. As women and as people also, we love doing things for others. But when it comes to doing something for ourselves, it's usually put on a back burner. But then this is a space where we do a lot of events. You can just follow us on social media. The calendars are put out. So that's what we all do. And as we go along, I would be moderating this session. I'm not going to keep it very formal. Do you all want a formal setup? No, right? So we are going to keep it very semi-formal, where we learn from what they've been doing and what is it that is making them who they are today. And how is it that the businesses are actually clicking outside. And after that, maybe we will just throw it out open for questions. So if you have something to question, if you have something to discuss, please bring on board. This is not a lecture session. So we would like to keep it interactive. Yes? Yes. Thank you so much. So, hi. So when you started ANTERA, cooking is something which everybody expects women to, have it very naturally. So how did this, in fact, I was just telling you, I love the name, the way the name came up, ANTERA, Andhra, Telangana and Rayalaseema. So what brought that, and why did you choose food as the main thing?
So hi, I'm Pooja. I do not come from a background of food, so it was more like an accident to me. But yeah, Antara happened to me. I did not happen to Antara. So it was like an opportunity where I did not shy away, to take a step forward and dive into it, which is allowing me to sit here today and, experience this. So,
So when you started off, what were your initial challenges?
initial challenges or daily challenges?
Everyone is
Because
looking for the rosy
yeah, so initial challenges until like starting 1 year of Antara, the baby's gonna be 2 now. So starting from the stewards, captains, even anybody, any guy wouldn't like to listen to you, even if it's the truth, even if it's a fact, and any small order they wouldn't like to take it because it is a female talking. So I had to face all those kind of challenges, and it was not easy at all, but you know it's time to turn the tables around. So I could
And
do it.
yeah, as you put that, as you rightly said, everyday challenges.
Yeah.
I'm sure apart from whatever that you're doing, you have customers who are tough also, customers who love it also.
Yes,
So
absolutely. Yes.
how do you manage it in that space?
That fills my stomach, so so it's all paid off. Yeah. But yeah, you asked me a question about how Antara came up. So I hope everybody knows Antara is a full form of Andhra, Telangana, and Rayalaseema. So it's ANTERA. So we were juggling between what kind of cuisine to get on. So it was not a huge, task for us because we were just juggling with the names, and then Antara came up and touchwood, it's doing good. Yeah.
Thank you. And, asking on this, maybe I would pass it on to Pallavi. Pallavi is a corporate lawyer, and I've known her for quite some time.
Yes.
So, Pallavi, the difficult questions that clients like us will come to you with, how do you manage, the different scenarios?
I would like to add to what she started off with. She said when they don't like to take orders just because you're a female. I have a different perspective also here, the other side of the coin, or probably adding to what she said. When I see clients, it took me more than 10 years for me to so that they take me seriously. I'm not here to while away my time, or I'm not here to pass my time, or just for some fancy thing out. I'm here for serious business, boss. I had to take that extra step, work towards it, so that they take me seriously. So it's like when they come to me as a client, because I'm not into business. I work on my own. I'm a corporate lawyer. I have corporate clients. I have individual clients. But they will come to me. They don't come with a clean slate. They come with a prejudged notion or prefixed idea about her. Okay, they don't take me seriously. So I have to take that extra step to clean the slate and write my own version on it. So it took me a while to do that. There are different clients, probably women take me seriously or no, at times they also don't. They judge us even before they understand what we do and how professionally we do. They start judging us even before they start working with us. So you have to walk that extra mile.
And
Because you are into this gender, yeah, you have to walk that extra mile.
yeah, so from whatever that you said, where sometimes you might have to clean the slate, I think as women, intuition comes very naturally to us.
And also
Multitasking and intuition, they come very naturally to us.
True.
So, how much of it do you attribute to being more intuitive, to understand? And I'm sure as a lawyer, you might have to read between the lines.
Between the lines, absolutely. More than intuition, I have to understand what the client is expecting from me. So it's not that I don't just tell them what the rule is or this is how it works. No, they won't take it as straightforward answer. You need to understand what's working in their mind and juggle your words around it. If manipulating is the right word, I don't know, but you have to juggle your words around it and put it that way that it is acceptable for them.
See, that brings me to a concept, usually where this word manipulation, I think many times we are taught that it's manipulation, but actually it's strategizing.
Strategy, yes.
And the difference between manipulation and strategy is such a thin line.
True.
See, are you doing it for your own good? or are you doing it for your gain? Where you're, if it's a win-lose, maybe that's when it gets into manipulation. But if it's a win-win, it's strategy. But we are so much conditioned that when we put our head, we typically think that,
See, at the end of the day, we want a happy client.
Yes.
See, either whichever business you are in or whichever profession you are in, you want a happy client because you want them to come back to you or spread a word of mouth for us. So when you understand, you are trying to manipulate only for their good.
You're trying to strategize. That's what I'm trying to change that. Yes.
You want to put it that way that they are happy and
Yes.
also listen to what you're saying.
Yes.
Comply with what you're saying. And also they are within the framework of, as I am a lawyer, I would talk about legal framework.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. And Sulakshana, so you're with ShuShu Babies.
Yeah, founder of ShuShu.
Founder of ShuShu Babies. Again, as I said, that's another natural instinct for women.
Yeah.
So how was that an extension of who Sulakshana is? How did ShuShu Babies happen, and what do you do exactly there?
So ShuShu Babies happened because of my son. He's sitting over there.
Yeah.
He's the inspiration.
That's what I
behind it.
presumed. That's why I
Yeah,
felt,
yeah. He's a whole inspiration behind it. So when I came back from US, it was difficult for me to adjust to the quality of the products here. I was searching. I used to import the products and all of that. So suddenly during Corona time, it was all came into a halt, right? So as a pharmacist, it was natural to me to read the ingredients list and see what is best for my son. And without really realizing it, it turned into a business.
Usually we all start businesses with some emotion. Something, something as an emotion. And that brings me to Supriya, who day in and day out, I think, handles the emotions of those young girls. Supriya is a relationship coach, a beautiful relationship coach, where I have seen her handle things. So maybe I'll straight away jump to the question, Supriya. When all these young girls come to you saying that, this is what we felt love was, or this is what I've been waiting for my Prince Charming and all of that. And to the extent that they actually adjust, and to the extent that they actually go in so deeper into those painful relationships at the end, not knowing that they're worth much more. That's what you actually handle, right? So how do you take in all of that?
So generally it comes up with the conditioning that we have, not just around relationships, but everything that we carry from our childhood and with the experiences that we have, even with the business as well. And coming to the relationships, it's mostly the conditioning that once you get into a marriage, the man gonna save you. Or it is mostly coming from, he's responsible for the happiness that you're gonna have in your life. This is like number one thing where people look at it like, okay, now once I get married, then yes, I'll be happy. Then all my wishes gonna be fulfilled. So with that conditioning, when we enter and go through certain experiences, we just go through a lot of heartbreak.
In the same way in the relationships as well, when you don't value yourself, when you don't respect yourself, when you don't express and you believe in your own boundaries, nobody's going to do that for you, especially when you're entrepreneurs and you're sitting here, and when you don't believe in your own idea, in your own skill set, nobody's going to do that for you. Maybe coming back to the question, just start everything with you from here and it's just going to bloom.
Thank you, Supriya. That was very beautifully put out. So, coming back to ANTERA, you also have another
Yes.
the label.
Yes. It's Ra Multidesigner store.
Raha. Okay.
Yes,
So you do the label.
Label is my sister-in-law.
Yeah. Okay. That's the next one. Okay.
Yeah.
So, how do you juggle between multiple businesses then?
Basically, I do the brand marketing at both the businesses, and and it is very tough to juggle between the businesses because the strategies are completely different. So when it was ANTERA, we had a clear strategy where food, ambience, that's it. The customer will be satisfied.
Yeah.
Whereas at Ra, as it's a multi-designer store, it's like, you need to continuously keep working on it. So we are still doing it. It's just it's not even a 1-year baby now. So we're
Okay.
still
So
working
you're still building on
Yes,
it.
yes.
Yeah. And Sulakshana, if I ask you, with so many products out there, and that too with so many established products out there. How do you create a niche for yourself, and what is it that is different, and how do you communicate that?
So basically, this is a very basic question that I need to ask myself when I'm going out there into the market, right? How do I put myself different? So, of course, we have our own USPs being Ayurvedic and vegan about the brand. But how do I make other parents like me trust the brand? Because we are very new. And of course, making parents trust a new brand out there, it's very difficult. Uh, but still, we take testimonials from the real parents. Initially, we didn't go for influencer marketing. Like, everybody knows that it's a paid marketing, right? So end of the day, like, they'll definitely say good things about you. But what we have realized is we need to get the real mothers who've been using the products. So that is like the real testimonial to the parents out there. Okay, these products have been used and they really liked it. So there are multiple other strategies that we are working around it. So it's a learning curve. So we are still learning. So yeah, we are using different strategies. So go on.
Thank you, thank you. Pallavi, if I have to ask you, when your clients come to you, and as I said, tough clients and all these things keep happening. Now, when you tell them something, do they usually take it in, or what is the kind of convincing that you'll have to do,
Yes, yeah.
and how open are they?
There are two ways. A few clients, they do accept, they come with saying, okay, she's the expert in the field and we don't know. So let us take her advice. There are a few who come with an open mind.
I'm sorry to pause. The reason why I'm asking you this is with professionals like doctors, counselors, or with lawyers, even with somebody like a coach or something, we see that Google is the biggest source for everybody. So the reason why I was asking you this is when they come to you, I'm sure today everybody feels that they've done their research and they come to you with suggestions. So how do you handle such things?
So I'll give you an practical example. So when, as you said, Google is the basic source for everybody. When somebody comes to me, for example, a simple contract or an agreement that they want to draft, they would have done their own research. They would have come to me with a template of their own. It might fit for them or it might not. You would have to customize. Yeah, the headings might be similar, but the terms might be similar, but you will have to customize it according to your own business. So that's where the convincing part comes in. So even if I give them suggestions, there would be few adamant clients who wouldn't refuse to listen. So probably in those areas, I will have to budge in and say, okay, it's your call at the end of the day. I'm here only to advise you, give my suggestions as a professional, but you take it or not, at the end of the day, it's your call. But initially, yes, I would do my convincing part. There would be few clients who are open and
maybe
take
how
the
much of
advice.
it would be damage control?
Usually, most of the times. Most of the times. The times it is damage control. See, what happens is, as long as there is no dispute or there is no difference of opinion, it's all fine. As long as there is no trouble in paradise, you don't panic. Once there is a dispute or a difference of opinion, that's when you come back to us to fix the problem. So I always tell them, when you start out as an entrepreneur, it's not an easy thing. It's a bold decision for everybody to start, be it a business or be it for professionals like us. Not to tag us with any corporate or any company and starting out is always a difficult and a bold decision. So when you start doing it, you need to have few things in place upfront. Otherwise, what happens? You will have to fix it later. Cleanup job, you will have to do that job at a later point of time, kind of redo it, negotiations happen. That would be a more complex way of doing or handling things. Instead, if you have these demarcation of your rights and liabilities, I might talk a different language altogether from what you guys do. But if you have your rights and liabilities demarcated or, fixed upfront, a strategy or a process in place, that helps you all the more. It will simplify your process. Yeah, you will anyway come back to us for help or advice, but then fixing a dispute is more complex than having it done in a strategy or a process.
Yeah. Thank you. Supriya, when such a thing happens, in fact, I'll take it as an extension. When people don't listen and I have seen girls coming to you saying that, you tell them, okay, fine, this is not right for you, or, you should, or maybe you should look into something like this. We are all products of our own past, and we all love to hold on to the pain, even if it's paining. And change is something that usually we don't like. So, how do you see that these girls who come to you are willing to let go of their trauma, or whatever that they're going through, and how can they embrace their true self? In that aspect, how do you actually handle it?
This is actually a great question because today, actually, 80%, I'm not even talking about 60%, 80% of women are waking up in an unhappy relationship. So, what do I mean by unhappy is like either abusive or compromising, depending on the conditioning from the generations. Being okay to just be as a couple in the same home and not talking or having that deeper emotional connection and attraction. So when they are like very used to that experience in the body, and suddenly to change and create that thing or go into that uncomfortable zone might sound very challenging for them. So let's say we want to eat healthy food, but maybe 2% of us do that. And we want to hit the gym, but just 2% of us do that. And most of us are even like we live in the head than like really living in the reality.
So, most of us are wishful thinking, but
Exactly.
actually not practically doing it.
Exactly. That's like a correct sentence actually to put it on. So for them to move out of the zone, when women especially come about relationships, they just have not even two choices. They just have only one choice because they have tried everything that they can to make the relationship up. So they have only two choices: either to stay same and be comfortable with that past and holding on to the experiences, whatever has happened, or they have this choice of like be uncomfortable, learn the wisdom that works, and change the ways that they're acting in the relationship, and then see a brighter future. So when they come to me, one thing I set up as a very strong boundary around them is, hey, are you open towards this? Because if you're not open to work on yourself, I can guide you, I can be there for you, but it's you who have to stand up. So I'll be very upfront about it, because even if they come in and half-heartedly, the things will not work. I can't contribute the results that they are expecting. So one thing for them to move on is just shred that past self, whatever is not serving, and take one step at a time. So because if we are like working on 1,000-mile run, you need not run for 1,000 miles. You can start with 10 steps. That creates a lot of difference. Is how I generally approach to my clients.
Thank you. I think now I would like to ask a common question to all of you. Maybe in today's age where everything is just a real span of time that you have the attention or whatever. So if I have to ask you two things in yourself, like when you started off or when you wanted to start off of today, what are the two major differences that you see within yourself as a person that you've learned, and what is it that you would want to tell others if somebody wants to start off on their entrepreneurial journey? Two things where you can say that these are the two differences of Pallavi when she started off to Pallavi who is now, and maybe those are the two things which the audience will actually take away from you today.
Adaptability. I was very stubborn to start with initially, not open for change. I was stubborn with I thought, yeah, that's what we all usually think. Whatever we think, our point of view is right. You might be right, but you need to change at times. I mean, if even in my profession, when we address clients or when I have to change as per the times, evolution, it has to happen within us also. So that is one thing probably I can proudly say that I'm changing with the times. Otherwise, you don't stay relevant.
Okay.
That is one important thing probably for any profession or any field or any person. That's very important.
As much as you can actually adapt is
Adapt.
when you can be relevant also.
Relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, not losing your own self, but then yes, you have to stay relevant with what's happening around.
Okay. Do you want to add another one?
I think that's one thing that I agree that I would have changed.
Thank you, Pallavi.
So coming for like two changes, one is self-belief. So when I have decided to be a relationship coach, I don't even know what coaching was, or like I don't even know how I can share this wisdom. It's just like I have gone through some experiences in my life, and I decided like we haven't seen this side of relationship in colleges or schools. So I have to share this wisdom. So there was a lot of fire within, there was a lot of hunger within, like, I have to share this wisdom. But there was also a lot of doubts, because I was working, I was writing films, and all this stuff was going parallelly. And then if I won't be able to help someone, a woman who comes and trusts me, what that gonna be? Because relationship is a very sensitive thing, right? But as the days have passed, I have understood like this is something which I'm meant to be doing. So number one, self-belief, because if you're not believing in yourself, and nobody else gonna do that for you, just like I've mentioned before. Because I was suggested a lot of the times by my family, like, do you need to hear all these stories? Why do you bother about all these stories? Why can't you just go and work a job or like do something? But no, this is like beyond. And the second is business mindset. So what I mean by business mindset is when you're going through an entrepreneur or being a business person, there are two aspects which is so important, that is service plus money as well. So when I was starting out, I was only looking at the space of service because it's only coming from the heart space, and I just wanted to give it everything for free and giving my 90 days of time, energy for free. But while I've seen when women are paying and investing their energy and money as well, they really take things seriously. And so I understood that money plus service go along together like a couple, because only doing for money won't get you anywhere, and only doing it just like a free service also won't get you anywhere, because the more you receive that energy, the more good things that you can do with that money. So in future we are deciding to help women with education. That's how we can invest that money. So these are two things: one is business mindset with money plus service, and one is believing in your skills and upgrading them often.
Thank you, Supriya. I think that was one thing maybe a lot of us should actually want to hear, having a business mindset. Sulakshana.
So, one good thing that I've learned during my journey is that never to compare myself to anyone else in the market. Because as you previously asked me a question, like there are big
So many,
names
yes.
out there. So, there are so many names out there. When you start comparing yourself and when you start to feel down, because the entire team is dependent on you, you have to be always self motivated and be confident. So when you start comparing yourself, you're pulling yourself down. So that is something that I've hardly learned, that never compare yourself. Everyone has their own journey, and everyone takes their own time to reach the success. And also it is very important that not just success should define your business, but you need to enjoy the journey. So whatever I'm doing right now, it's more of an enjoyment for me. Like I like what I do, and I'm being proud of it, not just to make anyone else out in your circle or anyone proud about you. No, but you have yourself. So that's really important for me. And the second thing is being patient. I was very impatient, and of course my son also helped me to be the patient mother, and of course my business also helped me to be patient, because there are so many businesses out there that becomes overnight success, of course. But when you start comparing and be impatient, then that's not going to take you anywhere. So you have to be very patient and positive about what you're doing. She said, like, you have to believe in it, and that's when you motivate yourself and also your team to work harder.
Thank you. That's also very beautifully put. Patience. Yeah,
So-
Pooja.
All of them have talked about belief, so I talk about something else. So for Antera, I'm a person, I'm born in 90s only, but I never spoke to much men in life. It was only my brother and my dad until I got married. So it was like, talking, matlab, having a conversation or anything. I was very much living in a shell. I came to know after I came out of it. Until we are there, we wouldn't know that. So now guys are like, I have like 140 staff at Antera, kitchen and floor. Now I hear, oh my god, ma'am is coming. So that is where I understood, okay, I've learned in that 2 years of journey, I've learned how to talk. And coming to the talking thing, You need to put your point out. Let it be anybody. This is what I have learned with time and experience. Let it be anybody, anything, how much ever superior. You need to put your point out there when you know you're right. And I started it from my house. My husband, dude, sit. We need to talk. I want you to, listen to me, not just hearing. Again, listening, not hearing. So, it started off from there and passed on to my dad and my brother, and now everybody is like, okay, she's talking, we need to listen. So that is what I've learned with time, because that is where a step of power starts. You'll start again believing in yourself. Given our gender or whatever, we had to force people to believe in us, we had to force people to trust us. So from my personal experience, I understood that by sharing what's happening inside, what's happening around the head itself is a start up there. It starts from there only. Until you're like, Jane do, let it be and all, it wasn't working for me. So that is what I suggest or advise. And yeah, that's one point.
Do you want to add anything else to that?
No, my second business is like a cakewalk because it's family. So there also initially it was like, obviously anybody within family ka thing we hear, but touch wood, everything is going good.
That's
Yeah.
very nice. And, thank you for so candidly sharing, because what I understand or why I wanted to do this is entrepreneurship, I think, as much as it is about going out there and doing what you want to do, it's also about handling the changes, handling the challenges of what we are facing on a day in and a day out basis. And as you've rightly said, we have to put in that extra effort for people to take us seriously, for people to, because I hear this a lot. "Neeku avasarame undi? Why do you have to do this? Why can't you just sit back and relax, or, whatever." But that burning desire that, you actually want to make a difference. I think you've all very neatly summed up that,
I want to add a point.
Yes, please.
And along with that, also they say, it's okay, you leave it, I will take care.
Yes. Yes.
I want to change that.
Yes.
From my end at least.
And
I wanna do
especially if they see you on a bad day. When they see you on a bad day, they're like, of course we told you not to do this. చెప్పాం కదా ఎందుకు అంత అవసరమా? But the point is, unless you see that, you can't see the other side as well. So, thank you so much for sharing. Hope you all, there was something for you to actually see here. I would like to open it now for questions. Any question in whatever phase you are as of now. Again, we are not saying that we are the experts here, but we are just in a group, in a safe space where bring your thoughts. If there is something that we could all help, maybe we'll all come in together to help you on that. So just want to keep it very simple. I could see one hand raising out there. Yeah.
All my parents, grandparents, and everyone were like, if you get into IIT, you'll be the best student. So if you are not going to get into IIT, you'll not be the person who studied hard or something else. So I was continuously preparing for my IIT, and then God gave me another plan that I got into Cornell University. That is one of the best university in the world and third world ranking. So actually I gave my SAT and IELTS. So that was my first achievement, where my family and everyone are just praising me for my achievement. So you are aware of COVID pandemic, right? So at the time we were not going to schools, and I was at my home. And my grandfather, he made me join some internship at School of Innovation and Leadership. So there I've done my internship for around like 2 years. So right after my 10th grade, I've been into internships. So I was like into UX, UI and everything. So I was like, I just came to know that I have to get into university being an entrepreneur. I didn't have any plans of being an entrepreneur or something else before doing my internship. So while I was into the internship, my family members, they were encouraging me a lot to go to any startup meets or whatever. Like they were encouraging me to start new things. So when I got into Cornell University, I just went like last August to US, New York Cornell University. I've done with my first year right now, and I'm here for my holidays. So me coming from some agriculture background. So my father, he's all into agriculture. So like when I saw his problems, I feel like I have to do something to the farmers, and I just felt like I want to start some new startup on agri-tech, which will help farmers, more kind of a service. So I started this project called Annadata, which is like that is helping farmers in 4 ways. So it runs on 4 pillars. The first one is like AI chatbot, which only promotes natural farming. So it will be promoting farmers to do natural farming irrespective of the chemical fertilizers and everything. And the second one is marketplace. So we see farmers having problems in market, right? They don't get their produce sell at time. So that was the second solution I gave for the farmers. And the third one was farmers peering. So for natural farming, you should have a cow, and there are some certain things that they need to have. So whoever is not having, they can get into peering for farmers to farmers peering through our platform. And the fourth one is like labor assistance. So we see there's a problem where there's shortage of labor everywhere. So these are the four solutions I gave to farmers. Now the thing is, me being a girl child. So whoever, like my family, who all told me, like they encouraged me into everything. Now they are telling, "Ivanni endukama chaduko first." So I was like, bro, I'm just trying to do myself. Like, so who all agrees that I'm doing something right?
Can I get your name, please?
I'm Harshita.
Harshita.
Yeah.
Harshita, thank you so much for sharing your story so briefly. Now, this thing that you've heard, ఎందుకమ్మా చదువుకో, ఇప్పుడు ఎందుకమ్మా చదువుకో, తర్వాత ఎందుకమ్మా పెళ్లి చేసుకో, తర్వాత ఇంకోటి, you will hear that for your entire life.
Yeah, of course.
So take it as a base.
Yeah.
But, opportunities, challenges, all these things, they come to everybody. And maybe sometimes ఇంకొకసారి ఏమవుతుందంటే, what I have seen, as entrepreneurs, usually you're the people who are seeing things before the times have seen it. Typically, you're a visionary. So there is no validation that you can get. And those are the points which actually, kind of bog us down, because you can't even explain. You can't even show them that, I could do this. You have to live with it.
Yeah, and one more thing is like when you get succeeded in those things. So I failed not getting into IIT. I didn't even give my JEE mains exam. I just gave SAT, IELTS and got into Cornell University with 2.27 CR scholarship. And then my parents were like, you just got into some good university. We are very happy. You succeeded. You just got one achievement. Now just study and do some 9 to 5 job. And I'm the person, like I accept that I have this ego that I don't want to work under someone like 9 to 5 and start my own things. So that was the day, like in my 12th grade when I was doing my job as UI UX analyst at Soil. So right after my internship, I got into this role of UI UX analyst. So I was thinking that only if I start something new, I'll be entering into my college. So I promised myself, I believed in myself, and I worked with Ask Anjali. Ask Anjali is something like free education to students who cannot afford education. So I started that thing, and I just entered into my college being an entrepreneur.
All the very best.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful journey. Thanks for sharing. Anybody else with a question?
Samiksha. I have an interior brand in Hyderabad. Just one question which I would really like to ask is the financial knowledge is something we all miss when we start any journey, or as an entrepreneur you want to start up, is something that it's not taught to us, or maybe our background is such that it gets very difficult as a woman also. So what are your thoughts behind how to, come up with certain things or certain strategies wherein financial knowledge, especially for women, has to, come out of, and you gain a lot of things and strategize. See, surveys, design, creativity, all of it will have a lot of plans. But when it comes to the background, which is the finances, we are like somewhere it's down.
Very, very important question. Does anybody want to take it?
You are into creative space. You are an expert in that field, but you're not expected to know everything that you do. I would suggest is seek professional help. Don't shy away from saying I don't know, can you please help? Seek professional help. By professional help, I mean, it could be your business strategists or your chartered accountants or a patent lawyers. You are into designing. Protecting your IP is very important. these days, I'm sure you would understand, if you are into branding, designing, or creative content creation, protecting your IP is important. In the same time, having your finances sorted out is also important. So seek for help. You're not expected to know everything. That's very important. You can't work on your own alone. Yeah, you're starting out alone. You have to seek help.
Sure.
Just like ma'am said, hire a good accountant and eat his brain off. So I tell him every Saturday to come down, sit with me. If I don't understand even the silliest thing, I don't mind asking him. If I don't understand even the smallest addition, I'll ask him, explain it to me. I want to understand. And once you start the business thing, it's all about numbers. Creating your baby or your product, it's different, but entire thing boils down to business and numbers, right? So that thing you have to be really, even if you don't know, just take some courses or anything. I do take still courses like how to do that, and I still learn what to do around it, but never shy away from asking like the stupid questions also. Don't think that you're not supposed to ask because you're the founder of some company. Ask everything, like even if to my son also I ask some math questions like how to do. So don't shy away from that. Don't think that you're asking some stupid and they'll judge you or whatever. Stop. I think we are overthinking, so we shouldn't think that way.
And when I got into business, the irony was after 2 years, we had a debt of 36 lakh, and my house was just holding 15 lakh worth. That's it. So I come from a below middle class family where my house worth was 15 and I had a debt of 36. But see, money is just a game. If you have brain, you can do it. So not a problem. The financial constraint that all of us have as women, because majority of the men's brain work in that way, our brain works in detail. Like we are very much into detail. So it's all right. You can, as ma'am said, you can ask different people. We have a cost accountant now. So I spoke to him. I've, got all my projections done, rightly done. And now we are all sorted. So even that time I, ask someone else help. So it was not my brain which worked in that way. My brain works only in other direction. So I can seek help from the other person whose brain works there. So I think that's how I understood finances, because everything won't be, known to you the day one. So you will seek eventually with time. Yeah.
Thank you, Pranavi. Can I add something to all of this? Because we are taught that it is good to give. It's not good, it's not noble to take. You have to just give. And this is something that we've heard day in and day out as we were growing up. Maybe that is one thing. And the second aspect that we've all usually heard is, if somebody has made money, if somebody is rich, the first thing that you understand or the first thing that you hear typically in a household is, వీళ్ళు ఏం చేసి అంత సంపాదించారు. That is one thing which is there. The third aspect that I see is, when somebody is rich, typically the words that we use are, they're stinking rich or they're filthy rich. Such dirty words. Yeah? Such negative connotation that we actually give to the word money. And how much ever we deny, somewhere subconsciously, from the time that we are born, these things are very, very, very deeply ingrained within us. And we don't even know that we think like that, because we don't want to think like that. But that's what we are conditioned. So when all of this comes, how many of you feel this? You actually want to go out and do work, but you can't ask money for what you've done. Please give me a raise of your hands.
I've learned it the hard way.
Yeah. Learned it the hard way, because again we are telling ourselves, even if they think wrong of me, I'm okay with that. You understand? Even that is also coming from a negative connotation only. That is because the word money itself, it holds such negative energy in our subconscious minds. The reason why I'm unpacking all of this is very soon, maybe in a week or two, and I really loved how it all came out, because I never thought I would be putting it out here today. We are coming up with a program where we're going to teach people this aspect of money, subconsciously, to change it. Why are we looking at it as? So we are taking up something called the Money Challenge. Very recently, I don't know how many of you follow me on Facebook and Insta, I put out a survey asking, what are your biggest challenges? I put relationships, I put money, I put so many other things. I think I have it on my phone. what I see is the biggest percentage came out that money is our biggest challenge. And there's nobody out there who's actually addressing it. So we are coming up with a life challenge where we are giving it 3 months. That is, in a span of 90 days, we are going to show how easy it is to actually make money. And the second aspect here where I wanted to put is, how will I show you? Unless there are numbers for you to see, unless there is a growth that you can see, you can't see, how will you understand how it is growing? Now, again, then my thought was, how do I put it out? Now, if I have to make money, I have to put it in a product or a service, or I have to go buy some land or something like that. Is it really possible for me to show you something evidently? I can't. Then I started thinking as to how do I show this? Then came across this aspect of stocks, the financial market. Now, the challenge that I had initially, because I also come from the same culture, same background, initially the thought that hit me was, my God, stock market is gambling. Stock market is such a negative word. I don't want to get into that. Again, I had to sit down. And the thought process that I had is, why is it gambling? Now, suppose I give you all, some tools and techniques and everything, and I put you in an operation theater. Now go operate. Is that gamble or no? When we do not know something, when we do not understand the reasoning behind it, when we do not understand the intention behind it and everything, of course it comes as gambling. And stock market is the biggest platform where your emotions are at play. Because that's one of the sciences. There's reasoning behind it. There is absolute analysis behind it. But when you start seeing making money, we try to put in more. And when it goes down, tomorrow you're again going to make it. But the emotion that we have. So I felt this is a flux where money is involved, there are emotions involved. I felt this is a good ground for me to experiment. What do you all think? Makes sense? The reason why I'm actually asking for this opinion is, I did share this with a few friends. They said, Padmaja, Align has been something where you talk about self, where it's spirituality, where it is all of this. Money is going to corrupt. I have a lot of friends who've told me, in fact, very deep down, even I have that thought process. But then I felt maybe this is a challenge that I need to take up for myself as well. Because who told that spirituality and money can't go together? Why are we in such a myth? So we wanted to break that. So we've chosen the stock market as the ground because it doesn't shy away from the fact that it is a money-making machine. And the other major thought process why we came to this is, you all understand bank processes and all of that, right? When you save your money, what is the kind of rate of return that you get from there? 6%, 8%. That's the highest that I'm talking about. Yes? 6%. But if you take a loan, what is the rate of interest that you give them? Depends on type of loan. So when you're saving, you're getting less. But when you're taking, you're giving more. Why? There must be some reason there. And any major company that you take, in fact, when the COVID hit, there were only two machineries that worked. Hospitals, stock markets. Everything else came to a standstill. Now, when I talk about hospitals, healthcare, pharmaceutical, or pharma companies, any major company, they're all there out in the stock market. They're all listed. Yes? Why? Because that's where the money is happening. Any millionaire, any billionaire you take, where is the money happening? How are they getting there? That's where they're all making. But is anybody teaching us how to do it? You see the gap there? So, I think it's going to be a bold step for Align. We are taking up this as an experiment. Just wanted to get that validation. Do you think it's right or wrong? Or are you all okay if this happens? Would you want to learn this? Yes. And again, how much to put in? That's the next question which came up. Yeah? We said 3 months we're going to test this. 3 months is how much? It's a quarter of a year. Yeah? So why not take quarter of a lakh? 25,000. Because whatever said and done, that is one price or that is one amount which all of us can meagerly put in, saying that, you know what, it's okay, I can experiment with this. Yes? So we are going to put in 25,000 for 3 months. And I have spoken to different people on this, and there is some other company which is coming on, but because technically I don't understand that. So I'm actually going to follow somebody else where my account is going to be out there in the open, where we put in 25,000 in 3 months. They are promising a 200% return on that. So this is one program which maybe in a week or 10 days I should be announcing. This is just giving me a confidence saying that, you know what, it's okay. I think, you should actually do this. So would that be interesting? Thank you. Thank you so much. And we are going to come up with the money challenge. Thank you so much for bringing in that question, because this is one thing which we really want to break. Yes, sir.
మనీ తోటి లాస్ అయ్యాను. అంటే నా వైఫ్ ఆ ప్లేస్లో ఆమె రావాలి, ఇప్పుడు రాలేదు కాబట్టి నేను వచ్చాను. అది లేకుండా, మనీ లేకుండా ఒక దగ్గర నేను ఈరోజు యాన్ అండ్ యావరేజ్ 3 ఇయర్స్లో 1.5 crore ఎర్న్ చేశాను, వితౌట్ సింగిల్ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ పెట్టకుండా. అలాంటివి ఉంటాయి మన దగ్గర. అలాంటివి తీసుకొని నెక్స్ట్ ఏవైతే మనం డెవలప్ చేసుకోవాలో దాన్ని డెవలప్ చేసుకోవడానికి ఛాన్సెస్ ఉన్నాయి.
డెఫినెట్గా సార్. అంటే మనీ ప్రాబ్లం అని చెప్పట్లేదు, ప్రాబ్లం అని యూజువల్లీ అనుకుంటాం, బట్ అది నిజం కాదు అని ప్రూవ్ చేయడానికి
కాదు. వేరే.
సో మీరు ఏ బిజినెస్ సార్ ఎందులో చేస్తారు?
నేను వచ్చేసి టాటా లైఫ్ ఇన్సూరెన్స్లో చేస్తున్నాను. 3 ఇయర్స్లో 1.5 crore ఎర్న్ చేశాను. సింగిల్ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ కూడా నేను ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేయలేదు. ఆల్రెడీ ఒక 50 lakhs నేను లాస్ అయ్యాను. దానికి కావాల్సిన ప్రాపర్టీస్ కూడా సెల్ చేశాను. ఈరోజు ఆ ప్రాపర్టీస్ మళ్ళీ క్రియేట్ చేసుకున్నాను.
That's nice, sir. Thank you.
Actually, I want to discuss about the financial questions she asked. So recently I got married and I was like zero interest in finance and stuff. My husband I was searching for different businesses and I want to enroll in some like 9 to 5 job. What should I do? I don't know. Actually, I was doing UPSC prep for 3 years straight and I was not feeling that I am being motivated anymore. So I was looking for stuff like what should I do? I should go into business or something. He just, if you are not figuring out it by your own, you should try financial knowledge. You should get it. Just start with the personal financing. I was like, would I be able to learn that kind of stuff? In our society, in our culture, like financial stuff is only made for men. They can understand it much betterly, right? We have that perception in our minds. So I was like, will I be able to do it or not? So he was like, you should start with the basic. And it's been since 3 months and I'm learning it so fast and I'm that confident and I'm curiously asking him such question he can't imagine. Like, yeah, you are you are, I didn't thought about this. I am also investing for 1.5 years and you are getting those ideas which nobody can think. So yeah, ma'am, self-beliefment is very important for yourself. He's like, we are like equal partner. I believe in him and he believes in me and it is giving me very confidence in myself. So he's the one, he like pushed me for this event to attend as an attendee. I was like, I'm not an entrepreneur. How would I understand what business is run and how they do work? So he was like, you should attend, you would get to know. I'm really proud that I today came here and learning about different stories. Like I was inspired with ma'am with ShuShu babies and that startup. I liked it, ma'am, and very proud of you. And you guys are the motivating leaders, I would say, that inspire us. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing. That simply shows that, I think you just need to decide that you want to do it. That's all. I think that puts everything else in perspective. Any other questions? Yes, please.
Hello everyone. So I'm a bit nervous. It's been a long time I'm into this public speaking thing. So what I think is, like, as we are already talking about this financial things, dealing with the financials with the strangers is very different. Like when someone is strange, like when we get to meet someone, like I met you, chalo, let's do this business 70-30. That would be clear. But it is very different when you get into business with your friends or someone, your closed ones. Like as she said, I'm not pointing you out, sorry. Like if you start a business with your husband, like when you are dealing with the percentages, it is really different. Like are you 70 తీసుకో నేను 30 తీసుకుంటా అంటే అరే నేను ఎందుకు తీసుకో, like it is like that. So in that aspect you should be very careful while communicating the things. So I'm facing the same situation now. So that's the reason I just want to raise this point, because even when you come to the financials, what I feel is like you should treat everyone as in the same level. Like even be it your father, be it your friend, be it your life partner, anyone. Like when it comes to the closed ones, అరే పైసల గురించి మనోళ్ళ దగ్గర ఎట్లా మాట్లాడతాం, it shouldn't be the way. అరే పైసలు పెడితేనే ఏదైనా అవుతుంది, as I said, because పైసలు లేకపోతే nothing works. అంతే కదా. Like even when someone speaks a success story or anything, అరే నువ్వు సక్సెస్ అయితేనే ఎవడైనా వింటాడు మాట్లాడితే. Even now I'm a bit nervous to talk, like because అరే నా మాట ఎవరు వింటారు అని. It's like I'm feeling that because I'm at startup level. Even most of the people don't know my brand even. Like in that way. But this is the thing which we need to make clear when we make the business with the closed ones or the friends or family. I just want to make this point.
Thank you so much for bringing in that also, because this is where I tell people, keep your role and your soul separate.
Exactly. Yeah.
You need to, because the labels that we carry, whatever that you are, it works only to a certain extent. And who you are as a person is something which is core to you. So even if you're in business with your friends or family, your core self who is in friendship or in a relationship there is different. The personality who's actually doing business is different. So that can come only when you have that clarity of thought and,
Yeah, everyone should be having that thought when you start a business.
Yes, I know this will be your favorite.
I'm like very excited to answer this actually. So you are bringing into the business, and what your family, friend or your partner is bringing to the business is you have to have honest and open conversations and set your boundaries. And the second is, especially if anyone here is working with a life partner, yeah, so especially if that is the case, you have to start inculcating the mindset of interdependency. So what I mean by interdependency is not about, okay, this is just my money, I'm like independent about it, or I'm completely dependent on you about it. Instead of that, really coming to the middle ground and creating that interdependency of, hey, this is where I can spend, this is where we both can together, like, make this happen. Because remember guys, like a relationship, especially with your partner, is so important, because you guys are going to travel for a longer period, and that's the reason why we call it like partnership, because literally the person is your partner. So it's very important for you both to act like a team. And for you, I would really suggest to set your boundaries. It can be with your father, husband, no matter who they are. Like, having a clear thing about what they're bringing into the business and what role you guys are playing is so important. And second thing, if you are like in future working with your partner or someone, it's very important to create that interdependency mindset in the relationship, would be my suggestion.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
When something goes wrong in that, when two partners are working together, especially husband wife, then there is a blame game. How? And it's just not me voicing it out. It is most of us who are working in that way. It does come in, and it definitely then comes on the woman saying, you don't have the understanding of business, you are a fool, you don't understand the meaning of finance. That's the first thing that comes in. So it's just not me, it's a lot of us who say have probably come across or have had an understanding. And to be very cutting it short, I have run my own business for last 28 years, 23 years in Mumbai alone, 5 years in Hyderabad with a partner, with my husband. So those, is 23 years wrong, or is 5 years right, or it's the other way? So I want an answer on that. both the aspects have been successful. But regardless of that, that's what I'm trying to say. That is where they challenge us that, you don't have a mind, you don't understand finance. And that is where I think it's a voice of all of us, regardless of the fact that in spite of us being independent women, and we've done it for years together, and especially when you mentioned intuitions, we have our sixth senses, we have our intuitions, we exactly know what is going to happen and what is not. Then also the blame game happens, invariably happens. So also to put it that my husband is the, I mean, if people have seen me, whenever I have my art workshops and stuff like that, when I'm doing my art things, exhibitions, my husband is the one who's always there as a backbone. So I wouldn't even complain on that. But yes, this thing definitely does come up for every individual woman. Maybe I have gone through, some may have, and some may not have. So
Yeah,
if you could
this
let
is
us know.
actually a very important question because, as a relationship coach, I often come across these situations where even when women are working, they were either controlled sometimes, their finances were controlled by the partner, or sometimes the woman is completely dependent on the man to save from the financial stuff. So let me tell you that, there are so many layers to it when we talk about partnership, especially because it's not coming from one situation. It is coming from when two people are coming together. They are bringing literally a big baggage, back of them, the conditioning and the belief systems they have, the childhood they have gone through, the past experiences. But cutting short, what I would suggest is there are two things which are so important. That is, number one, communication. And number two is the balance of masculine and feminine energies. I don't know how many of you are aware about it, but today, let me speak about this because we have all these women, and you are the future of this generation. It's so important that we have fought enough of comparing with men. I want to have freedom like a man. I want to be like a man. I don't want to be judged. Just being a woman. But I think somewhere we forgot to not compare, because a sun and a moon can never be compared, right? It just imagine in the morning the sun comes up, and the evening also the sun rises. We just feel restless. So it's more like from voicing out I want to be like a man. Than that, maybe we have to start focusing I'm a human. I deserve respect as a human. I have to learn finances as a human. And the housecore things is a human thing. So once we start speaking from that space, maybe the world might hear better than that. And especially when men advise us on finances, just like how we women condition about certain things, men are also conditioned in a way where don't open your emotional space, don't cry like a girl. So it was very hard for someone to believe that, hey, she can deal with the finances, she can take care of her business. So it's just coming up from the place of guarding you, protecting you, don't fail, okay, be careful, because maybe I'm better at it. So instead of us defending that, maybe if we're open for the protection, maybe we're open for hey, I'm okay to receive your advice, but you know what, as an individual I have all the right to make a decision. I think so. Number one, communication is so important, and number two, playing the roles in the marriage is so important. So today when you sit with your husband, and I would suggest that when these topics are coming up, instead of pushing him away by saying, hey, you know what, I'm right, I know this, you can say, let me listen to you what you're saying. But at the same time, let me take control of my life, and let me also be a teammate about it. So I think communication, and especially by starting the statements with I, instead of just like when you have mentioned about the blame game, because again, it's much more deeper that, we love to defend ourselves. There are so many coping mechanisms that just guard up just because we want to protect ourselves. But just letting the guard down and telling I statements I feel unhappy about this. Because we women are very we're blessed with the emotional space. Like Padmaja Garu have mentioned, we progress from our intuition. So use that your strength, and always ending the statements with, how do you want to act like a teammate with me? Just inviting the man to step up. So what we do when we're having these important conversations, we don't set an intention toward the conversation because we love to just vent out. Like, this is what I'm feeling, let me just put at him. But we forget that if the other person is open for it or not. So when you're discussing, especially the financial situations, make sure that come with I feel statements and end the questions with, why did you think that way? What made you to feel that way? How can we work together like a team? It's like literally putting the ball on the court and come on, step up. Give me a solution. I'm ready to work on it. So communication is the biggest thing. And I just wanted to add on with everyone who said here about finances. For my I'm now 33, and till my 28 years old, when I was working, I never saved a penny, because I always believed that once I get married, he gonna save me, he gonna bring everything to me. So why do I save? I just wanted to travel the world. I spent everything. And then it hit so hard when I went to a marriage and to depend on someone. And then I started learning about stocks. I started learning about mutual funds, SIP, everything. And I started to learn stuff, because as an entrepreneur, it is also so important why you want money, where you're investing that money, and what are you going to do that money also. Because when you don't have that intention and direction, it just flees out of your life very fast. And like Padmaja garu have mentioned, the subconscious thing is so important. Thank you so much for coming up with such an idea, because unless someone don't rewire their subconscious beliefs about money, we can't really invite money into our life or manage our money in a healthy way. So thank you so much for that. Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much, Supriya. See, again, it all comes back to money. Definitely somewhere, that's an underlying current, but we don't want to address it. So, any other further questions or? Yes.
Actually want to ask Pooja and Akila. So you are cousins, right? So we were just discussing about partnering it with your family people. So I have started initially with my husband. It didn't work out. So we fell apart immediately, like in 3 months. Like we couldn't work together. I just want to understand how you dealt with it and how are you still dealing with it, because it's so fragile, right? Like the kind of relationship you both have, it's so fragile. How do you work around it? I'm sure you'll have some bad days, worse days. How do you handle it? Because I've seen partners ripping each other off, best friends working together. It never worked. So I just wanted to understand, how did you manage?
So I'll start off with my husband because he was my first partner at ANTERA. So initially it was very hard, but then I gained my trust, and now it is in a stage where we talk, we discuss each and every point, we sit and we make sure that feedback and support in each and everything. We need feedback from each other. What do you think about what I did? What do you think about this idea? We need their opinions, because ultimately they're your partner. So that is what has given me a lot of confidence, because ultimately we need to go back home and make our partners or our family happy. So that is what I started practicing, and unknowingly it worked at Ra as well. But like you said, nothing has yet happened. Again, touch wood.
Yeah, something to say.
Yeah. So I have 3 different businesses. So 3 different businesses I run with 3 different partners. So when it comes to Ra, when we both meet in the store, the environment is completely different. Like we only focus on work. Like the way we talk and everything, every sentence we talk is, we
Very professional,
very
yeah.
professional. And when we come out of the store, when we're at home, it's completely different.
Yeah, she's my Mardal, I'm her Vadna
Yeah.
outside. But
Yeah.
at Ra, yeah, just Pooja and Akila. Yes, that's
Yeah.
it.
So I think you have to share, and then whatever step we take, we make sure we speak to each other, and then we decide.
Creating that space and
Yeah.
knowing where to how to hold that space.
But it's also very difficult to maintain the difference between professional and personal life.
No, I feel it's easy. So I feel very comfortable and easy working with her. When compared to Fleagram and the label company, I feel that's a little tough. Yeah, I feel this is much easier. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Snehal. I'm a wedding planner. So, me and my husband have been together for 13 years now. Not married couple, but we've been together. We've been in a relationship for 13 years, and then We got married 4 years ago, and we started our business together 7 years ago. So we were romantic partners, and then what happened is both of us were doing jobs, and yeah. So when we decided to start business together, we thought we would get to spend more time with each other. That was the whole intention. But with time, obviously, he was a more rational person when it came to business. He added a lot of rational value to it, and I was the creative side of it. In fact, the fact that I'm coming here today was a decision made after 7 years to pivot. But we were working together, and the atmosphere became such that for 7 years, we were only talking about work. So from romantic partners, we became complete business partners. That we are spending time. We forgot that we are husband and wife, or we are. That line was difficult to draw. It is very difficult because you are doing. We're sitting. We plan to go on a date. We go on a date, and we're talking about what next to do on business tomorrow. And so, but after we've established ourselves pretty well in what we were doing, then we pivoted. We added branches to our business. So now we've started a corporate section to it, and I've we've slowly he's gone into the corporate side, and I'm handling weddings alone. And he was the whole marketing driving force and everything. And I said, just leave everything to me. Now, see what we've done together. We've done it. Now let me take this in the way I want to take it. We used to do a lot of volume before. Now, with the experience I've gained and the intuition that I've taken another direction. And now we talk about our business. We have different businesses to talk about rather than the same thing. And because of which we also got the space of being, because it's not the same topic, it's different topic, it's my subject and your subject. So now automatically the intimacy of speaking to each other has come back. So I feel it's very personal experience, what your relationship with your partner is and how you communicate, like she said. And even in terms of blame game, that happens a lot. But I think we've always had a rule that we don't sleep until we resolve a fight. So we don't carry forward anything. So even if we have to stay up till 6 in the morning and we have to argue about something, until we are not on the same page, we do not move forward from it. So I think it completely depends on what kind of relationship and what kind of chemistry you're sharing with your partner.
Thank you so much for sharing. That's very beautifully put. So,
Setting boundaries and respecting and agreeing to others' decisions, partners' decisions also matters a lot. And that will create a subtle environment because your husband has to come home again. So, but sometimes along with that, you also need to remind, I do that. Intla samsaram matrame cheyali, not business. So I've been practicing that because given my restaurant business, my husband keeps getting calls until 1:30 a.m., 2 a.m. So we need to, that is my level of support that I'm giving him. The support that keeping his phone away because he needs sleep. So we create those kind of boundaries. And yeah.
no, that simply brings to the fact that there is no one way to do things. There is no one way. There is no one right way. It's about, how your situation is, how your relationships are, how your intention is, and how your commitment is. I think, there's so many more factors which go into it. But at the end of the day, if something is working for you, let it work. Don't come up with different questions, even when something is working. So I think, it's all about just keeping it simple, keeping it authentic to who you are. I think that's what makes it work. Yeah. Communication and?
Comparison. So, who all thinks comparison is good up to some extent?
See, I think comparison is good as long as it's motivating you.
Yeah. So, when the point was between comparison and communication, so I had a communication with my father regarding comparison. So, I was explaining him that, Papa, don't compare with me others because you just know 1% of them. You don't know the other 99% of them. You know everything about me, so you need to motivate me and encourage me. And he was like, you need to get motivated by seeing their success as far as you're I'm comparing you so that you'll be growing good. So, I'm just asking everyone that is comparison good?
It's about how you, that's what I'm saying. As
so
long as it's
different
motivating
people
you.
take it different ways, right? So when you're comparing it in a wrong way, that vaadu chudu baa chaduvutunnadu and you're not getting good marks, that doesn't help me grow, right? So I was asking that.
See, I think that's every household aspect. As much as we are talking all these things, maybe it's somewhere we do that with our kids also.
Yeah.
Though we know so much and everything. I think it's all about understanding that, you know, it's just the emotion which is talking there.
Yeah.
And understanding how to keep it simple. So again, there's no right or wrong about it. If it's motivating you, if it's helping you to see, sometimes when they compare, what happens is maybe you will see something which you didn't know before.
Yeah.
And you know, if somebody is only badgering you about it, then maybe, you know, it's...
So that might discourage also,
Yeah, of
right?
course. Yeah.
That was what I was asking. Up to what extent comparison would be good?
That's what I'm saying. There's no one way to do it.
Yeah.
There's no one right way to do it. It's about, you know, something working, not working. That's all.
Suicidal depression.
Suicidal depression, okay?
Yes. But has through my these 4 years of research, why in India anxiety, depression, cry? These are why they're more specifically it's a bad way or bad view. I want to know from you all.
I'll tell you simply before we wind this up, because, you know, we need time for the next panel also. That's a very good question. So when you all hear about mental wellness, what do you hear? We all hear about mental illness, anxiety, depression, and all of this. But when we all hear about physical health, we all know a healthy lifestyle, right? Everybody knows that you need to eat wise, you need to exercise wise, you need to do everything wise. Only then you'll have a healthy lifestyle. But who's telling us how to have a healthy mind style? Who's telling us how to think? And in fact, if you ask a question, you're just given one saying that, you know what, just do what we have told you to do. So I think one is not knowing what is a healthy mind style. And when we start answering the whys, I think it all falls in place. And I'm sure we're going to take up more of these questions in the next panel. Is your question answered?
Yes.
She's just saying because...
No,
Are you sure?
ma'am. I expected the answer from you as this way, so I got it.
Acha, you expected the answer to be this way? Thank you so much. We have Simi here. Simi, let me introduce you. Please come. We have Simi. Simi is sponsoring the food for all of us. It is Simi's kitchen here. At Align, we do have this cafe also. In a week's time, we're getting our furniture out at the backyard also. So Simi is the one who does wonderful food. Vegan, but excellent food.
Thank you so much, Padmaja. First of all, good evening, everyone. So my name is Simi. A brief introduction about me. 20 years I was in Telugu media and international media also. I was working with Indian and USA media companies. And 2021 I came back to India. And then I saw only few companies, few outlets. And then I thought, past 10 years I am a vegan. I'm fit and fine. I'm healthy. Please, Shiva.
She's into mountaineering.
Yeah, I'm also... Thank you so much for remembering. Sometimes I forgot. Now it's okay? Okay. So my record is I'm the first Indian vegan who climbed the Mount Kilimanjaro from India. That is almost 20,000. Thank you so much. The thing is, I just want to prove meat is not only the protein that we can get and we are fit and fine. So I thought, okay, I'll do this one and let me, influence the people to take veganism. So that is my plan. I succeeded in that one. Can you please pass? And so you can scan and you can get into the Instagram page as well. So we started in within 8 months only. This is a small baby, but still we opened almost 3 branches here in Hyderabad. One is in Madhapur, one is in Align Hub, Film Nagar, and another one is in Gachibowli. All are pretty good, going on pretty well. And one more thing is we are into corporate orders, we are into catering orders, we are into pop-up stalls, whatnot, each and everything. We are doing workshops also as well. As Padmaja told, within a week, maybe 2 or 3 days also. Furniture is also coming, so it's going to be a full-fledged everything. You too, please, whatnot. If you want coffee, we have coffee. If you want tea, we have tea. If you want buttermilk, we have buttermilk. And the cheese, butter,
pastas,
burgers,
and all of those. With
each and
vegan
everything.
cheese, excellent taste.
So now you're going to taste some of the food also. It's just glimpses of our cafe. Please have it and please spread the word. And definitely I started as a vegan because of the animals. But it's up to you. If you don't like animals, you can switch to veganism because of your health, or fit and fine. And I am 46 now, so I think for that age also, to look young, you can eat vegan food, or to be fit and fine, to do the any fitness works, vegan food is really good. So I request you all, sometimes, not I'm not forcing you to people to take each and every day, it is impossible like me. So sometimes vegan food, at least weekly, twice or thrice you can. And please spread this word to your family members. If you want any corporate orders or any birthday parties, we have lot of cakes and everyone is liking. Please follow our page. You can know what we are doing. It is really very nice work we are doing. We are with the animal volunteers, we are with the animal welfare, shelters and LGBTQ, whatnot, each and every people liking our food. All the other companies also. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And please all, sometime, any other time, with your friends, please come here and have the vegan food. Thank you so much.
The sponsor for the show, please come. Maybe you could just share food.
Hi, this is Samisha. So I have an interior brand in the design studio. It's in Hyderabad. It's a design studio. Ooh, it means to bloom. It's a Kannada word. Yeah. So here we call it as flower. Yeah, to bloom. Yeah, same. So yeah, nothing much. My, it was not by choice that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. It was the necessity. I was from a prestigious college. My parents were from the government sectors, IS officers and all of it. And for me, they expected to, marry and, have a government job. But again, I did not get a job. That was the worst part. Not like job, but I had a very, artistic way of, taking things forward rather than being very commercial about it. And then just to sustain, I could not fit to the market of the interiors wherein you have to make just wardrobes or, all of it. And I did a lot of exhibitions, installations internationally also. And then slowly, because of my partner, because he pushed me, his family was in business. He pushed, not like partner, but yeah, boyfriend, yeah. So he pushed me, and then I started, things happening. I started with a concern. So I also I did not invest anything, like zero money. Still 4 years, my parents did not know that I have a business. They, thought I'm working in a company which is Hoo. Yeah, they did not know. They still, it's just been a year that no. They got to know when I started, telling them, giving them the hint that, oh, I became a partner. They gave me a percentage, all of it. Because I knew they would not approve of all of this. And again, I wanted to ask a lot of questions also in the panel, because there are a lot of pressure when it comes to women. Balancing life, getting married, having a children, and I pushed them away just in order to, because I could not say, oh, I don't have a job, I'm doing a consultancy. So they'll say, oh, come back home. We are rich, we'll do everything for you. We'll get you married to a richer person. So that's what I have, faced all of it. But yeah, and then I shifted here and then started, working. So that was about the journey. But yeah, the last thing I would like to say is never lose hope. Even if you're down, you're, going, never lose hope. Just believe in yourself. And obviously, as a society, they'll give you a lot of pressure as women, because that's how the society is meant nowadays. And being in that patriarchal society, it gets very difficult to stand for yourself. And people are doing it. And each and everyone has their own journey. And if you ask me, it's actually the self, the thought that you have. I never thought, it just with the necessity it came. Each and every person, it's the necessity. Like Sulakshana or anyone who spoke about it came with the necessity. They saw it. There were certain emotions attached. And I also was, topper in the college, and I had that pressure even from the friends. Like, why she did not get a job? What is happening? She'll get just married and, do something else. And still, I was not having that platform to showcase my exhibitions and artistic factor in the interiors. So now I have my interiors. Now I can showcase my installations to that too, in terms of design, and with zero investment. Because again, I started with a service. Now I design furnitures, I design installation, all of it, wherever I get that platform. Yeah. So never lose hope. Things will fall in place. Yeah, that is the thing. Yeah. Of course, you can get in touch with me for the queries and any interior works or anything. Maybe we can have just talk about even design, just creative part, anything. Yeah. Thank you so much.
We also have our smile partners, Dr. Hina.
Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Hina Khan and I am a pediatric dentist. Let me share you something personal for the starting. It's really pleasure to be here. I'm honored, ma'am. I have worked really hard to be in this position right now. Yes, I did. Thank you. Actually, it was more than normal. For the guys, it was very easy to gain a status in the society. But for me, it took extra 3 years because I'm a woman. So everybody can relate to it. So coming to profession, I work at a dental practice called Park Dental Care, which is at Banjara Hills Road number 2. Me and my male partner, Dr. Praveen Kurapati, we are all leading top Invisalign providers in the country. It just started like 8 months before, but we have reached into the highest top 1% of all the dental practitioners. Very nice. Yes. And so see you at Park. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hina. We also have our outreach partner, Student Tribe. In fact, Charan is a good friend. So Gayatri is here on behalf of Charan and Student Tribe. Yes, Gayatri.
Thank you so much, Unekha, for this, Aneka, for this opportunity. I'm Gayatri from Student Tribe. Ours is a student community, and we, all the Tier 1 colleges like IITs, IIMs, they have all the opportunities. We thought, why not, students like us who are studying in normal colleges also get those opportunities. So we are a community with over 1 million plus students all over India. And we want to, tell out students that if you don't get an opportunity, don't worry, Student Tribe is here for you. Thanks.